you about a very general question on Ukraine.
Sure.
What exactly do you think you accomplished at this Security Council meeting?
Well, Matt, you heard from our ambassador to the UN, Linda Thomas Greenfield. She had an opportunity in the session.
Wait. You don't need to go through everything that she said and everything that everyone. I just what does the administration think it accomplished by bringing this to the
Well,
Security Council?
Can I give a slight preamble, and then
Well,
I will
as long
and
as you
then
don't repeat everything that was said in an hour long meeting.
I will come to your question, but I
Okay.
think it is important because not everyone is the famed Matt Lee diplomatic reporter extraordinaire, and I think the context here is important because the UN Security Council, as we know, under the UN Charter, has primary responsibility for the maintenance of international peace and security. It takes the lead in determining the existence of a threat to international peace and security, and takes the lead in examining instances of aggression. And that is precisely what we are seeing here. And you have heard that from us over the past couple months. You've heard that from our allies and partners. You heard that from members of the Security Council today. The point today, Matt, to come to your question, was to continue to shine a spotlight on what we are seeing and to demonstrate to the international community, to demonstrate to the Russian Federation that the world is united in the viewpoint that aggression, violations of a core tenet of the rules-based international order, that these elements must not be allowed to be conducted with impunity. We heard a good deal of consensus from the Security Council. We heard from many of the speakers today that this situation, the situation and the crisis on the border that Russia has needlessly precipitated, should be resolved diplomatically. That is the point that we have been emphasizing all along. Diplomacy and dialogue remains our preferred course. But there was a resounding call from the Security Council this morning that Russia should avail itself of that course. We heard from the Russian Federation, as we've heard from Moscow before, that they have no plans to invade Ukraine. But as we've consistently said, we'll be looking for deeds.
Yeah, what's up, man? What's going on?
We're free for 5 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Oh my God.
We're free. Well, we're free indoors for 5 minutes.
I don't even know what to say because every week it's just getting more and more intense.
What has been your perspective on this week? This week in 2022.
Yo, remember when I was on unemployment?
Most of the country was for 5 minutes.
Yeah, but remember when I was gonna do that lesbian? I was gonna film it.
You didn't tell me much about it.
Yeah, but no, but I told you I was like, I didn't want it to be like trashy or whatever. I wanted it to be like. I mean, that just really just came. Because I wanted to talk about the mandates, so I'm gonna get to the mandates, but. I just want to get this one out of the way because it just came into my head right now. I was like, yeah, I wanted to do like an artsy type of like.
Then it's not.
No. It's a not like some type of French crap. Like I wanted to be like pretty. I didn't want it to. I'm not interested in filming a. I'm interested in filming a.
You already said all the banned words you're gonna have to bleep out. But yeah. Use more artistic language, because it's art. If
I-
you want to make it art,
I want to film. I want to film an art piece. Yeah. There we go. Right. Yeah, I could do that. Right.
yes.
Okay. I want to film. Yeah. Damn. All right. Right from the jump, I fucked up. Yeah. Yeah. No. And then it just after this whole Corona shit just fucked that whole shit up, and I totally just forgot about it. But no, I think I'm gonna go right back in and because we're already doing the podcast, so I'm gonna see if I can get that one done too. Because again, like I don't want it, I don't want it to be like a trash. No, I really like. I think I can make a story, like a good story out of it, like a good 40-minute
I can't.
saga.
I can't say any comments because I have no idea what the heck you're.
Okay, well
constructing
we'll
in
talk
your
about it. We'll talk more about it later. Cause yeah, no, I think I just wanted to bring that up. But yeah, back to current events. Yeah, once again, fuck the mandates. Fuck anyone who supports the mandates, and yeah, World War III.
I mean, I don't think we're gonna get there yet. Ukraine is about, again, like always, pipelines. It's energy. And
Yeah.
that's why the United States told Germany, hey, you're not going to have that pipeline. And then Germany's like, we're not in agreement with you. Because Germany depends almost completely.
Yeah, they're tired of Russia in that. Yeah,
Europe is tied to Russian gas.
yeah, they're tired of
No,
basically
they're dependent on Russia.
they don't like that, right?
Well, it's kind of the only option. So Russia's polluting while Europe is getting natural gas. So then Germany, and the US, well, we can turn it off. I'm like, well, if you turn off the gas, Europe's going to freeze because there is no alternative source of energy available for them to heat their homes. And they're also trying to, it's a mess.
That's real tense.
Europe is dependent on another country, and I mean, several countries of Europe are dependent on one country, that is Russia, for their energy, and it's just hilarious
Gotta buy the
stupidity.
balls.
Just hilarious stupidity. For
Do we
example,
really got to get involved?
no.
Okay, yeah, I was like, so what the
We
fuck?
just want to
So
sell
what the fuck
our
we
gas.
talking about?
They're trying to sell our gas to Europe. And
Oh.
they're like, we don't want that deal.
Oh,
Yeah.
because I mean, the sleight of hand thing. I want to see what's the I mean, we could just reveal the cards. Like what what's the hidden,
Oh, who distributes?
how many
the,
hidden missions are for this
I
one?
mean, it sounds simple. I think it's who distributes the power.
Yeah,
Who distributes the heat.
yeah, okay, that's not complicated.
mean,
yeah, you're right.
The simple way you can look at a developed and undeveloped society or developing is who has more access to energy. Energy is the fundamental wealth creator of all things. If you give a society extremely cheap energy, they will develop very, very, very fast. So whoever's controlling that flow, whoever's controlling that technology, is who can call the shots when it comes to a lot of things in life and to their societies. So that's why they want to control the energy supplies for the world. But there's so many options available, and they're playing the green thing as if it were a real thing. It's a charade just to extract wealth from all countries, while China and India don't have to comply with anything. It's stupid. The Paris Accords are stupid, and anybody that doesn't look at it for 5 minutes, I mean, there's blind followers of it because they think it's for the good of the world.
But don't you
it's
think
not
that's
doing
sad
anything.
though? That's sad. That's sad how
Well,
it has to.
they're either
has to be
in on
bullshit.
it. I know some people actively that are supporting it completely and calling, oh my God, Biden got us back on the climate. Did you look at it? Did you look at the data? It's going to impoverish a lot of people.
Biden trying to get us back on crack.
Oh yes,
I-
and heroin.
Listen,
I mean, this is the thing. The prevention is the key. I also
No,
want
no,
the
I
people
see,
to be
I see,
safe.
I see what he was trying to, what they were trying, the administration was trying to say, but it's still, you want to actually start with, well, let's try to dissuade first. But yeah, I understand healthier
No.
methods.
So how it works is
Dirty needles are bad.
they're trying to make sure that the other groups get them.
Right. Of course.
So
of course.
white people don't get free heroin and free needles and pipes.
Some do.
But everybody else does. So they're trying to make sure
Yeah.
that just not white people become junkies. Like that's not a racist law, is it?
No, well, you see, again, like
He's
it's,
looking out for you.
it's like-
If
it's
you
like,
need,
no,
if you need a crack pipe, the government's got your back.
I noticed that, and I was just like, at this point, I don't have to write stuff down when I think of jokes. But this one, I was totally just like, I don't even like. I'll just read what they said. That's where the last 3 years have just been. I'll just read what they said.
What do you think the president of Ukraine is
For the jokes?
The president of Ukraine is a comedian.
Oh, half of them are comedians.
No. The actual current leader of
Oh,
Ukraine.
legit. That used to be the job.
He was a TV host playing a fake president
Oh yeah,
on television.
Okay, that's not
And then he became the actual leader of the country.
we had Reagan. Yeah.
No, but this guy was playing a fake one on television. Like Reagan wasn't playing a fake president on television before that he became the president of the United States.
At this point, is he showing up to work? Is he drooling out the
He's
mouth?
actually, by what I've seen generally, he's actually not bad at all. There was a really bad mishap with American translation. So because America said certain words in relation to that, casualties are like potentially going to happen and all that, because of the mistranslation, the Ukrainians were like, whoa, what are you talking about? Because there was a problem in the translation when you translate it into their native language. It was a terrible translation. So I love the State Department screwed up so bad they had to apologize to Ukraine because they're like, yeah, it doesn't matter. We're going to go to war. I'm like, what? Oh, also, what is it? What company was it? Who was it that leaked that they already went into war?
Oh, Bloomberg.
Bloomberg screwed up and said
Bloomberg.
that war started.
What the fuck?
I'm like, okay, so you already have you're already so ready to fire.
Putting out stuff like
It was available for 2 hours. It was up 2 hours. It was up. So could it be they're just gonna wag the dog and nothing's gonna happen at the border? I hope that's the case. I prefer
movie reference.
I prefer for them to wag the dog and just lie and nobody dies and I prefer them.
Yeah, that would be nice. Nobody
to
died.
theater of the imagination. And actually not invade another country for whatever the fuck.
What's the? I mean,
Well, the reason
it seems
is
like a big distraction to me.
Well, Russia doesn't want them to join the NATO.
Oh yeah. Ukraine,
That's
which is they're protecting their own interests.
Yeah,
which that's what you're supposed to do.
Some stupid people talking heads on television are saying, "Oh, but it starts with Ukraine, and then they're gonna go through the rest of Europe." I'm like, really?
I mean. I would like to see them try, but I mean, I really wouldn't. But yeah,
they're not going to.
Yeah, they're not gonna go.
Russia's got a billion problems.
Come on,
They're falling apart. I don't know why they're even doing this. There's some bizarro reasoning behind it, but we're not privy to it. But if we were to be stupid enough to put up troops and actually do something, then China's gonna be like, "Yo, Taiwan, what's up? Yeah, you're next," and then we're fucked because guess what? Taiwan's actually important in the scope of the planet in ways that people cannot fathom.
It seems like a distraction. Not all the way, but I mean, a chunk of it just seems like a big distraction. I mean, I think we have a lot of other problems that.
What do you think is number one problem right now that has nothing to do with any of that, and nobody is paying attention to?
Man, I'll do this. I'll say what's in the top 3. I'll just say one of them. What are we gonna do about the market and the economy with the dollar? What are we gonna do about the money? Because, I mean, have you seen prices for houses?
Well, the houses are
shitty houses.
Everybody is just putting their money into real estate because it's the only thing that will move relatively in proportion with inflation. And in some places, prices have gone up by 20% and we're talking absolute garbage homes.
Yes.
and then the minimum price, like minimum mortgage price for an individual, is gone up so much. Now, there are many, many tools available now that there really wasn't there before to for you to buy your own house. So that's the positive, and it's and hopefully and there's not as many predatory, like there is still predatory actions, but there's more transparency. It's easier. 2008, people really didn't know how to do proper research. Now there's a lot more research, a lot more
Yeah,
data.
there's more
It's still
resources. Yeah, that's true.
APR in a mortgage is suicide. But think about it. So what is it? What is it? 200 and something $1,000 home will give a mortgage of about 1,300 a month.
Shit, that's not even my rent.
But
I need to rent out a house. That's not even my rent.
but that's just like, so then the mortgage is supposed to be less in theory than your rent.
Yeah, but that died out a long time ago. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's catching up. So, what can people do as far as like? I think the big problem is people either aren't making enough money, and then you got those few who hit. You know, there's still millionaires and billionaires being made like immediately or rather quickly than before. So it's like an extreme gap.
There's this weird phenomenon that happens in outer space and it happens on Earth. It's that the bigger the mass, the more energy it consumes, the more energy it attracts. So the same rule applies to economics. The more money you have, the more money you can make. And this is exponential. So the rich literally will always get richer. And it's terrible how that's more of a rule of economics. So that you have to have some form of control levers so that it doesn't get this out of control. We are currently at the state that we need to have some form of reform on a mass scale. How does that look like?
What does that look like?
The problem is you have to target the absolute top. You cannot target everybody else.
Who can be trusted to implement that?
Well, currently nobody.
Currently nobody, right? It seems like nobody can be trusted.
We don't have enough people in the government that look decent enough to be doing something about it.
Which is not
Very bad.
It's not too surprising at this point, but that is very, very bad. That's very crazy, and we're kind of acting like, I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people are acting like that's not true, and
Well, they believe the lies they're being told. Well, remember, the biggest lie that I'm gonna fight is, that theory that, the Republicans and the Democrats switched a few decades ago, and then the Republicans became racist and the Democrats became the pro-social justice. That's the biggest lie that people still believe. That never happened. The racist kept being the racist. Now, the best way I can describe it is, Republicans come from business and they are terrible at words. They still are terrible at words. So they generally sound racist. Now,
yeah, they got a bad sell.
Now,
I've been saying that
they
for
are.
years.
They are. I'm not
They
defending.
really do.
Both parties are garbage. The Republicans are garbage when it comes to pro-choice and when it comes to a lot of things related to women's rights, which is beyond stupid.
I don't like either of them.
It's garbage. Like they should grow the fuck up and understand better that human rights are fundamental.
It's 2022. Why are we? That's why. Why are we?
Why are we discussing?
Why are we still doing the abortion thing?
Well, yeah, because it's a distraction.
That was the biggest distraction. I was just like,
no. The Texas abortion thing was a complete distraction because the Democrats let it go through. It was a trick.
Not one extreme to another. Let's not do. Okay, I agree. Let's not do. Okay, she's just. It's a kill zone in there where it's just whatever at all times. We're going 8th, 9th, 10th. No, I don't like that either. But then you're doing like, well, as soon as you sneeze, if you don't check and see if you got it, and it's like the time frame was so.
It was 6 weeks.
That's stupid. I was just like,
and the thing is, who wrote that?
Man, you know how many people figure out like
you know what it was? It's the
3
same
months.
And I don't know if this story is true, but in that, so when the first woman went to space, somebody at NASA asked her, how many tampons that she need, and they had like 100 ready for her.
Yeah.
I don't know if the story is true, but it's fucking hilarious. We should put the link of because it's hilarious.
That's a QR. That's a QR. That's a QR.
NASA asked her, "Hey, how many tampons do you need?" Like, I don't know how long the mission was, but this is true. The first woman that was going to go to space.
The important questions.
Actually, I believe. Well, the first teacher that was going to go to space sadly died in the Challenger explosion.
Oh.
And the other teacher that
was the
was
first
going
teacher?
to go instead of her almost had a heart attack when the thing exploded. Also, the voice of Big Bird, the actor, the person, was going to be in that mission.
What?
Big Bird was going to die in a Challenger explosion.
What did he pull a Kevin? Was he mad late for no reason?
No. He didn't go. I believe it was the Challenger explosion as well. Big Bird was going to be on the mission, and he was going to be like literally broadcasting from space. Oh, Big Bird in space, and like, but they.
Oh hell no!
Big Bird.
That's not funny. That's not funny. No, that's not funny. Yeah, hell.
Those poor people, like.
God,
Brave explorers killed because of fuck ups by engineers. It happens.
The crash was horrific. The explosion was horrific enough. Like, I don't
remember Columbia.
Hearing Big Bird die. Yeah.
Re-entry fuck ups.
Yeah.
And it was because of improper maintenance of the tiles.
Nope.
That was the cause. It
Not
was
like that.
Improper maintenance of the tile system of the shuttle. The underbelly of the shuttle has a tile system, and what happened is, when the launch happened, parts of ice that builds up or something hit it, and they were not properly replaced. So that's why the damage was so harsh when it was shooting off into space.
No.
That was the eventual cause. Basically, the tiles fell off, and the heat kept building up inside of the shuttle until the shuttle exploded.
Listen, no.
The worst thing is they knew it was happening, so the people inside basically were waiting for death as they were cooking themselves alive.
So what part of? So wait a minute. They weren't even.
They were fully aware it was happening.
But where were they? Where were they?
Re-entry into the Earth. They were coming back to Earth, and then the whole thing started failing. I can't remember to what extent they have recorded, but they knew exactly what was happening.
Okay.
While they were inside the shuttle.
Okay. I want to make it clear. That sounds fucked up.
That's horrific.
And I'm not saying this for the camera. This is my own personal mind frame. For me, as far as how I died, okay, I'm okay because I made it to space, and because I'm all about. I told you, a 33%.
Less than 400 people have gone to space.
Listen, 33% of me believes that I will die by a volcano in a sword fight. I don't know how these metrics will happen. This is not for camera. This is literally my actual life. If you actually know, if you know me for real, you already know how I think. But the re-entry thing, yeah, like horrific, yes. For me, okay, I can. Okay, just as long as I made it into space. If I die in space too, that's okay too.
I mean, they did something incredible that most human beings have still not done.
Okay, give me more. Again, that's my reasoning. I'm just like this is like
there's a particular phenomenon that happens when you first go to space.
The most heroic shit I've ever heard. Okay.
So when you go to space, there's a moment. Everybody gives you a moment, because when you start looking at Earth, everybody just loses it.
Oh yeah, when you first see it from
actually from space.
It's
undescribable. Basically, everybody's experience is like it's their own, but they give you a couple of minutes for you just to gawk in awe. Like after you are taking off after you're secured and you can literally float around. And I mean, this is essentially what happens now with the tourism, but the tourists are not going that high up currently.
Oh yeah, they're like what, in the stratosphere or something? Where are they?
No. I mean, they're just not outside of the atmosphere.
Yeah. They're not past the membrane.
Virgin Galactic goes pretty low, and so does Blue Origin. It goes pretty high up. You feel you're weightless, which is concept of like microgravity. You're falling, but you're falling in a direction where you're floating. It's the best way to describe it. You're not technically floating.
You're consistently falling.
You're consistently falling
into a position
and then your place in relation to Earth gives you that feeling that you're just floating. But you're moving very fast. I think you're moving at around 14,000 miles per hour as you're rotating the planet. I believe it's around 14,000. Could be wrong. But yeah, and you'll see 16 sunrises a day
Oh shit.
when you're in space. You
Oh,
see
that's
16
dope.
sunrises a day.
Oh yeah.
Sunrise, sunsets. So that's really interesting.
Oh god, yes.
And Nikon has been smart and given like the best equipment in the world to the astronauts so they can shoot in space with Nikon. Canon, you're stupid. Sony, you're stupid. Just give away the cameras. Spend a fortune. All those great pictures from the astronauts come from Nikon.
You're talking about an event. Yeah, I understand why the billionaires want to go up there and, wave it around. Because, like, if I came back, I would have to, like, move to another country or somewhere. I could not be around nobody I used to know because I'm just going to be looking at them. Whatever problem we have, I'm going to be like, look, I just came from up there, and I like you, so I don't want to just completely just
It makes people
disrespect
generally
you.
better
by
by what they have seen.
I,
But like at least it changes people when they go to space.
exactly. I would have nothing to say anymore. I would not have nothing to. I couldn't get into an argument. I would have to. I'd be like, look at what I just went through. I mean, I already feel that way partially right now, but it's like, no, for real. Space would.
I mean, the final frontier is probably interdimensional travel, but it's gonna be a while before we can travel.
Or
the last frontier past space interdimensionally.
yeah, or North Philly, but yeah, just like those are the two places where. Yeah.
How is North Philadelphia?
I don't.
Describe to me why it's another space.
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh,
I don't want to talk about it. I just when I go back there, I'm just gonna be sober this time, cause it's the new me. It's the new me. Da 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 da. The new me.
It's the new you. It's a new year.
Oh, I left that on the. Damn it.
So you left this.
I should have thrown that out. Yeah. So what's
What do you see?
It's Bloomberg again, right?
But what's that thing?
Bloomberg. What's the deal, Bloomberg? What's going on with the imagery? Like what's really going on? Like, I'm not trying to turn this into like a it's just a lot of blatant stuff.
Get the terminal. It's only 20,000 a year, I think.
The UK they keep talking about taking away people's cars, or what do you call it? Trying to make it like people can't own their own vehicles anymore.
Well, technically, when you
they
buy
want to revamp the whole.
So weird thing is when you buy a Tesla,
system.
you technically don't own the car.
What?
When you sign that documentation, when you buy the Tesla in some way or another controls the car. That's why the right to repair laws need to be very, very broad in relationship to vehicles, because John Deere, for example, when you buy a John Deere vehicle, and other companies do this in relation to the farm equipment, they put proprietary software that is very hard to crack. Now people are just hacking the machines, and then you can like do a repair super easily. So this specifically with farm equipment is a very big problem. So sometimes it's a very simple fix. We're talking maybe $200 to fix it. But because you have to take it to John Deere, it has to go through their steps. It could be thousands.
No, I know niggas in Canarsie, man. I know niggas in Canarsie that could figure. I know what hackers.
I'm not sure about John Deere equipment, but
no, not. I mean, I
who knows?
That too.
So that's
that
the thing.
Too.
So,
I know niggas
people have to
that'll
hack.
be able. Yeah.
So for example, Tesla, that's why their repair system is one of the worst available. So if your car breaks down and your Tesla's out of warranty, congratulations, you have now a useless piece of shit.
What?
It's gonna cost you so much money.
Oh well, yeah, that's
to repair the car.
Oh well, you should have known that when you bought the Tesla.
Some people have had like minimal external damage and that got $16,000 quotes from Tesla.
Yeah.
Because the car was out of warranty. Somebody was being charged a fortune for replacing the battery. This is in, I believe, Sweden. So he blew up the car. Just to fucking make a point, he blew up the car. You can look up the clip.
That
It's
nigga
really
had
funny.
enough. Oh yeah,
Just put the clip.
We'll QR.
It's very simple. It's
that
like-
nigga had.
The guy was so mad that Tesla quoted him for so much money. There's actually a YouTuber that he's really great. He has a channel where he was showing you the journey of he bought a lot of used Teslas and then changing the batteries. Now he did this all by himself. And you have to first figure out how to crack the software.
Right.
And then you have to be able to replace the battery packs and all that. So he did this all he shows you the process so other people can do it. Other people even take Tesla engines and put it in other cars. Like the amount of modifications and things people do with them, it's really great. But it's a mix of hacking and engineering that is fascinating and great that people are doing it. But Tesla doesn't want anybody to do any of these things. And they actually sued this mechanic I'm mentioning right now.
What do you? I mean, what?
And I have to stop for a moment because I'm getting a call that's very important.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But I'm just trying to, because it just sounds like the same thing going back and forth between both sides. And when you say that the Security Council takes the lead in determining the existence of a threat to international peace and security, did the Security Council actually do anything?
Matt, this was not about a resolution. It was not about a vote. This was about an exposition of the facts.
And hasn't there been expositions after expositions after expositions
Matt,
of this going back
we are
months
not,
now?
We are not
You yourself get up here every single day and talk about, or whenever you get up here, I'm going to say, I mean, just when you're briefing, you get up here and you talk about the G7, you talk about the EU, you talk about NATO, you talk about, any number of international fora that where this stuff has actually come out and been agreed on.
Matt, we are not going to apologize for engaging in robust diplomacy, for bringing this to every conceivable fora and appropriate fora, and for continuing to be transparent with our concerns. If the criticism is that we are engaging too robustly in diplomacy, that we're being too transparent, that we're being too consistent in what we're saying, that is criticism that we will accept if that's a criticism you want to lodge.
Well, I'm not criticizing at all. I'm just curious as to when you say the world is united in opposing Russian aggression, and you say that because of what happened in the Security Council today, then that's just flat wrong, because the world isn't united. There were two members of the council that wielding members of the council that didn't even want to have this meeting in the first place.
Well,
so when you talk about I just wonder, what do you think? How do you think you have advanced the cause, or your cause, the cause of the United States, of Europe, of NATO in countering Russian aggression with this meeting?
So you raised two countries. I think one country we can explain you can explain their opposition
one of them
pretty
has
easily.
Got more people in it than the other.
The country that is behind this aggression, the country that is behind this buildup, the country that has consistently engaged in disinformation, misinformation, and propaganda in an effort to obfuscate the facts. So we can explain that country's vote. But I assume you're also referring to the PRC.
And for sync purposes, okay, we're back. It's not bill collectors, but something similar was calling, asking for the money because bad people don't pay their fair share. So I then have to suffer and cover for them because they have no idea what they're doing to me. But thank you, evil people that have decided that I am your puppet, or I am the man that you need to fight, even though I'm not the man. Neither is those people either. Like, we're not mega corporations, people. Anyway.
Yeah, the fucking scammers. Yeah. What else is new? The city that never shuts the fuck up.
Yeah, what were you telling me about Queens and your possible move? Why so?
Oh yeah, I'm moving back to Brooklyn. I'm moving back to Brooklyn. I'm not doing because I gotta. No. Let me just get like a couple minutes in this position, please. Let me just because I got like I was in it and now I'm like let me just get a minute. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do the commute anymore. Every episode I got to bitch about this shit. I'm just gonna move to Brooklyn. I'm just gonna move back.
And just for some perspective, just alone in Central Park, around 3.1 inches of rain reported. That is a new record. Now, we've been spending the morning driving around Manhattan to survey the damage. Transportation remains the key challenge after water poured through multiple subway stations. Trains remain suspended. A number of lines remain suspended. It's one of the reasons when speaking to a number of folks down here on Wall Street, many people are opting to walk and bike versus take an Uber or take a subway because those lines do remain suspended. But again, people are here. People are going back to work. But of course, recollecting from that night of flooding and extreme rain. Guys, back to you.
I paid off my student loan in October. When I mean pay it off is that I actually paid the original amount that was the loan, $63,700, around that. But they still want $78,000. Criminal organizations that enslave the public. I have to, after I paid it off, which I have already, now I have to do some work to figure out how to lessen it to 0 or close to that, because they're charging me a 12% interest rate, which is also incredibly disgusting and disturbing that they're doing this to so many people. Yeah, don't get into massive debt to go to school. It's not worth it. There is no logic whatsoever. Peter Thiel is one of those people that push for the no college movement. Yeah, college is useless for a lot of professions. You can make an amazing living working in a million other things, and that's the problem right now is we have a collective deficit in this country for so many jobs because of that ideology that you needed to go to college to make yourself have a career. So a lot of people that are completely lost go to college because they don't know what to do, because you were taught that you can only do a group of things. You weren't taught that you could do your passion, that you could do what you love. Like, you work with metals, you work with sand, you work with different instruments, different objects. Carpenters can make a fortune. Carpenters can make amazing, great money. The carpenters I know make good money. The carpenters I know make 6 figures. And they're going to make more money. They're working to make more money than that. It's not an easy job, but technically no good job is easy. But it's about not dreading your job. If you dread your job, it's destroying you mentally, physically, emotionally, in every way you can think of. And that'll show up in other parts of your life that'll collectively dismantle you and make you nothing compared to what you could be. This person's had an assortment of jobs that I can't even... he's actually never listed all of the jobs this human being has done. I worked for myself for the majority of my life, so I can't compare what he's gone through in relationship to working for the man. How many people have you seen stealing stuff? When you were at Dwayne Reed?
No, I just wanted to bring up that when I was on unemployment, I paid off all my debt.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. I was like...
So there's 2 things. There's bad debt.
I took care of that war.
That's bad debt. And then there's good debt. You buy a house. That's good debt. Asset-driven debt is wonderful debt.
Doing healing services now.
That's the extent of his commentary on that.
Yeah. But but I mean the job thing, don't, it's a job. Why are you so stressed? It's a job.
Well,
it's not your life. Don't.
What is it in California? How many times do you see videos of the people just stealing stuff?
Oh, you want to talk about that?
The employees just don't care. Okay, honestly,
some of the employees stealing.
Don't. Yeah, duh. But And honestly, if you need it for food and you're broke, I mean, food, steal. I would say the only thing you
We're
can
not talking
steal,
about that.
the only thing you can really steal without anybody should be like really pissed off is food, unless you're like going to the meat section and stealing the most expensive imaginable food.
We're talking about the hustle now.
That's a hustle. That's not for your. That's not for your life.
We're talking about the hustle now. Like, it shouldn't.
I mean, nobody
It
should
should-
ever starve. But
It shouldn't be supported. We shouldn't allow this-
blindly allow people
blindly
to steal
because
is stupid.
it's the mark of the of an end of a society. It's one of the features when you're not the stealing portion, but the allowing of it.
You mean when rule of law starts to collapse for a certain group of people, but it's still very very diligent in how it executes against those that only fight against the established norms? Because they're
Oh, you mean the
executing
ones
those-
trying to save us? How they clap them?
Robin, good morning. Many people here in New York are opting to walk away from their employer because they don't want to get the COVID vaccine. NBA star Kyrie Irving is now a part of that group. And with just 1 week to go until the start of the regular NBA season, it's unclear when he'll play at Barclays again.
Irving. Oh, he's a machine.
This morning, the Brooklyn Nets losing one of their stars, NBA player Kyrie Irving. The Nets announcing Irving will not play or practice with the team until he gets the COVID vaccine.
Kyrie's made it clear that he has a choice in this matter, and it's ultimately going to be up to him what he decides. You know, we respect the fact that he has a choice.
The 7-time All-Star talking about his vaccination status a week and a half ago.
Honestly, I like to keep that stuff private. I just would love to just keep that private and handle it the right way with my team.
The NBA does not have a vaccine mandate for players, but New York City's COVID vaccine mandate requires a person to prove they have at least one COVID vaccine shot to enter indoor gyms, including Barclays Center, the home of the Nets.
And separately, our governor from hell, she then just lifted.
Oh, you
most of
talking
those
about Kathy?
I shall not speak her name.
I love Kathy. She just go with Christ.
Oh yeah, go with Christ.
Put this in your body and go with Christ.
Yeah, she had a speech where she was speaking to her. I don't know who she was speaking to, but she was speaking about Christ and we are the chosen ones. Literally was saying these words: "You are the smart ones. You're all like it's the separation of groups. That's the disturbing part. Like you want to get vaccinated, go get vaccinated. Nobody's stopping you. It's the obligation of pushing this and saying that you cannot get a job because of a medical procedure that can potentially harm you, because if the doctor does not know your medical history properly and you just follow that asshole on television, you could potentially hurt yourself.
Why is this a debate? Why is this a
because
discussion?
of a lot of stupid people.
How did this
believe
get to this
bad
point?
Doctors that don't do research.
No, I mean, but when it came to like, you know, using Christ, which is not a new concept.
It's a weapon.
But shout out to Christ. Seriously, God, you've just been coming through. But yeah, listen,
Jesus.
It just, why is this a discussion? Like, for your, everybody's doing these little jumping jacks and jumping over hoops to try to normalize. Well, you know, you get shots when you were younger. We had to wear seatbelts, and that was a new. And I'm just like,
That's not a comparison.
I'm just like, this is not a comparison. This is not a comparison at all. This is not even
let's
close.
put it this way: every single American, pretty much like 98%, 99%, has had already 20, 30 shots.
Yeah.
But like when you get to adulthood, it's about 20, 30 shots. Depending on, like, now it's more, but most of those people are fine. And we're talking hundreds of millions or billions of doses of certain types of shots work pretty well. There's risk in all of them, but very, very low and worth it in relation to the disease.
I was cool with the other ones.
There's many.
I was cool with the other ones, but then when it was,
but there's a lot of bad data on these current ones.
When it takes shaming, and when it takes coercion, because that's what happened. You can't feed your family unless you take this, because this will help you. This will help you not die so you can go feed your family. And I'm just like, help who? If there was a targeted audience, if it was like in the beginning where it was like, yo, you know,
target audience was 60.
the
Over 60.
seniors, you know, or maybe if you had some prior health, you know, if you know, like how we had it in the, but then when it became like everybody got to do it, it's like, well, I will take it if everybody got to do it. If you could prove to me that everybody got to do it, if you can prove that, and they didn't do that. They didn't do that. I'm going to make that very clear. They didn't do that. This is not proving. This is not just because he's wearing a coat on TV. That's not proving nothing.
The Pfizer data is already showing that they were lying. So just remember, they lied to you.
It's going to, every week, it's going to be a better episode. And by better, I mean worse.
Bobby, my stomach hurts. Oh, I'll give you some of Dad's medicine. It's real strong stuff.
That's a prescription for danger.
Doc!
Never take medicine without a grown-up present. You could do more harm than good.
What should we do?
If you can, wait for your parents. Or if it's serious, ask a neighbor for help.
Hey, Mom's home.
Now you'll get help.
And now we know what to do next time.
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe! It's only a percentage that has been it was a small percentage, but it's the world. So that's why
the percentage is still humongous. It's still huge.
If you're fine, you're fine. That's fine. But it's the world. So in the world, we can't expect with the entire world. People are like, well, of course there's going to be some side effects and shit. How many?
Especially when you compare it to other shots.
How many?
No, especially when you compare it to others.
Yes. How? Like
you do the comparative data to any other in the world in history. This already has the worst record.
Yeah.
In the history of vaccines. In the history, since we started 100-something years ago, I believe. I'm pretty wrong. But we started a while back, and it's the second worst is smallpox. And also, there's a reason smallpox has been eradicated, thankfully. But smallpox actually had a very high problem rate. But as most audience, if they ever listen to any of this, will know, is most people have never taken a smallpox vaccine. But it's still prevalent in some parts.
Wasn't there like a you had to be born around a certain time?
Yeah, in the 80s.
Yeah, and then
early 80s.
After that,
they stopped doing it.
There was no.
I never got it. I know a lot of people that never got it. Some people that did travel to certain countries have gotten it because there's a potential risk, which is understandable if they want to get it.
Yeah, and that particular. Wait, don't you have to do it for like a? What do you have to take for India?
I wouldn't be able to. No.
I gotta. Yeah.
But there's, the reality is, I mean, it's one of the most populous countries in the world.
I want to go. That's why I'm like.
You can just look up online. It's there's advisory.
I'm obsessed.
sheets.
Yeah, I want to go.
But they're fine because they had treatments.
Yeah, they had little packs with the ivermectin.
Ivermectin.
And didn't they have like zinc and stuff in there too?
Yes, it had zinc. Oh my God, I'm gonna butcher the other drugs, but it's a group of drugs. It's not just that. There's a group of drugs, and the effectiveness is pretty good. They've gone through it. It's all over in many parts of India, so they're very well now. I mean, we're not gonna say it's not easy, but the reality is the vaccines only work for people over 60.
Sweden can't just ended their pandemic. That's what they said.
Sweden had ended it months ago.
But I mean, like they officially like.
Oh, they're not doing shit now.
As far as like
they're
everything,
over.
Yeah.
It was Norway, I think, also months ago stopped everything. A couple of this is the end result: is that Sweden was right about everything. Sweden. I mean, yes, a country of 8 million people, but Sweden was right about everything. End of story. If one country had to be the lead in this situation, it was Sweden. Yeah. Sweden.
I still don't trust them, but I want to go. I mean, I want to go. It's not that what you said was wrong. I just, you know.
Why won't you trust Sweden?
Because that's okay. Like that's where.
Why won't you trust Sweden? I want to actually listen. Why don't you trust Swedish people or the country of Sweden? What's wrong with
no. The Swedish people, they're great. It's just they just it's like when you remember when we were growing up in like the 80s and the 90s and all that, and we had the classic stereotypical villains, and they were always like from
oh, that's right, they did wait, Die Hard, isn't he Swedish?
Yeah, I think he's I don't want to get that wrong, but I think he might be Swedish.
I think the main villain
Eastern
in Die Hard
European
1 was Swedish.
Because I was having a conversation with Brett, and Brett brought up a good point that
yeah, they did put a lot of Eastern European.
Oh no, it wasn't. It was Gio. Gio brought up about Asians complaining about being the villains in America cinema, and I was just like, well, that's like they're like second or third. I can understand the complaint, but it's not like
who would you say is number one as the villain?
Easily Eastern European, and maybe I think two might be
This is a valid thing that somebody's already calculated.
And this is a time frame though too. We're talking about more like the 80s and the 90s.
There is an infograph
early
with this actual information.
Yeah. Oh, I'm looking this up. After this.
Somebody, so put it here. Somebody in relation to race has probably created a sheet representing who are the bad guys for some social justice thing.
I'm sure.
But it is fascinating to listen to because culturally speaking, it does affect people's psyche. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
The concept of xenophobia is really an individual's inability to understand other cultures outside of their own.
Just like how black actors make either the best sidekicks, or they make the bet if they're on their own. I mean, they have to be really on their own. If they get a sidekick, it's like it's not even necessary. They're just kicking ass on their own. But the white guy, I'm not gonna because we had McClane and all that. But the white guy, when he has the black guy, it's just phenomenal. It's just something out of like.
So
it's just something out of this world.
Since when
for
did you
the
think
movies.
this trend was happening in cinema?
Oh, again, 80s and 90s.
I think that
I mean, it started earlier than that, but
I would
think
say it was
80s,
probably also
like the peak.
related to a desire for correction in relation to pop culture, and because people genuinely were working to make people understand that like this racial divide we had in the country a few decades before, like when the Civil Rights Act really allowed people to start living normal lives. It had to be shown on television that we can all work together. So I think that's really where it came from, which is a tremendously positive thing that should continue to happen to make people understand that we of all colors and all backgrounds can always work together. We as a human race can always work together. And that's why there's a lot more representation of Latinos finally in television, which I appreciate. And in video games.
Oh, yeah.
So get this. The first time.
Way more Latinos, yeah.
The first time I saw a Spanish-speaking character speaking Spanish in a video game randomly was Watch Dogs.
Oh, wow. Watch Dogs. Damn, I haven't played that game.
In a pharmacy type environment.
The first one?
I think so. I went into a pharmacy and the guy talks to me in Spanish. I was like,
oh, in that Spider-Man game.
Miles Morales is
I mean, he half, but it's, it's
represented
because
you
Spanish Harlem. That was like
everybody, like a lot of Puerto Rican love that.
That was tough. I was like graphics, sound. The game was just too short.
I would say they did go overboard with the room. They kind of went like on like overboard on the art for the room that's displayed in the game.
Oh shit!
It's literally. Like, like 30 flags in the room.
When they're developing it, they were like, okay, these motherfuckers have been complaining about this shit for so fucking long. Okay.
We're going to put as many flags as we humanly can.
Throw it. What they like. Takis? Throw Takis?
No,
is
there
any?
Like Takis.
Is it, but, in their minds, they're like, before they get the actual information, they're just thinking of, what looks
what do
initially
Latinos
looks
like?
great.
What do
What the
Latinos
fuck
like?
does a Latino?
So this is the thing. I was seeing somebody
Daddy Yankee.
somebody making a parody of Latinos, like our cartel guy.
Yeah.
But they were making a parody, and the Spanish was gibberish. So because they didn't know, they just butchered it, and they're like, but
That's
I'm like,
lazy.
But no, but that's
They
the
don't even
point
have
of
to do that.
the satire. It's
Oh, okay, it's just a joke. Oh yeah,
it's a
yeah.
satire.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
they
yeah,
were
yeah.
just
they were just fucking around.
speaking
yeah.
with the accent, but speaking gibberish on purpose.
Yeah.
And then putting in some English words, so you kind of got the context of what direction they were going for.
No, but going back to like with the movies again, like you had to go from like in the beginning, like when you had the 60s and the 70s, they had to because those were cool movies too, but like 80s and 90s, that's when the pairings started getting less wonky with the racial stereotypes and shit, and started getting really just like the fluidity was like because like don't get me wrong though, like in the 70s it was funny. It was funny, but it was still just kind of like
I remember seeing
they had to work a groove in to get it like
I was in I was in a theater and I see these previews. This is an independent theater, and they were playing a lot of old clips from black exploitive films, and I was just like, what the hell am I looking at?
Yeah, shit was pretty like
I couldn't just believe what I was looking at.
On the bro.
These are essentially, even in today's standards, borderline X-rated movies.
Yes.
That were like, so that's what's considered in the genre like black exploitive films. And
they were saying a lot of crazy shit.
I really have not seen any of those things. And when I saw it, I was like, wow, this is terrible. Like that we were doing that in the 70s.
I mean, yeah. So that's why
that's a weird thing. The fine line between film and or borderline
Flag is down.
Today was really weird. Which I mean, I understand because. These types of things show an inadequate like representation of sexuality for human beings. So the actual damage psychologically it can cause to an individual that doesn't understand sex is real.
No, it moved the culture.
The damage it can do to children psychologically is real.
Immense.
The internet porn is actually a very large problem currently globally.
That's a fact.
And nobody's addressing it adequately. They're putting it all... Look, this is the thing. I don't want the government to control it.
He's not talking about censorship.
No. I am talking about... It's stupid.
Fuck censorship.
It's stupid software companies are not doing a better job at creating better filter mechanisms and all that. Like, there's so much opportunity.
Basically, you're saying...
They should make campaigns to educate the parents.
Everything we can do, we're not doing. That's what you're saying.
Well, this is the thing. They could create campaigns to educate the parents on the subject. I'm not talking about censorship, not what the UK is doing. The UK is actively censoring the internet in relation to porn. No. Never censorship is not the answer.
The UK is...
Education's the answer.
Say what?
Education's the answer, not censorship.
No, but I mean, UK is censoring porn?
Yeah, so the way they were doing it was kind of wonky, but they were doing it at the ISP level. They were doing some fuckery. I don't know if they had to back down on it, but the way they were doing it is you had to show ID to be able, like, actually verify your identity to be able to consume porn is one of the things that they were pushing for. I don't know to what extent it got out to, but people basically use VPNs. I think I got to educate myself again what this was or how much of it went through. But you could just use a VPN and watch it from another country, and it works. So like the workaround was just using a VPN.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and every year I get more and more tired of porn. Like porn is like a bunch of bullshit. Porn. There was a peak, and then I could feel the drop like immediately. I was just like, this is a bunch of bullshit. Like, I mean, for years I've just not really given a fuck about porn unless I'm trying to make a joke. But
I mean, it's toxic, and the weirdest thing,
it's just a bunch of bullshit.
The weirdest thing is, look up. What are the
IG's
search trends? The search trends. So this is where it gets really interesting. Just look up. So Pornhub publishes every year the trends of what people search for, and
I stay away from Pornhub.
It shows I'm talking about the data side.
Yeah.
So they're one of the largest websites in the world. They're partially they're
That's
part
why I don't
of
trust them, but yeah.
They're part of MindGeek. So MindGeek is the devil. MindGeek is the largest internet porn company on the planet. most people don't know about it. Who runs the company? That's also not that transparent. That is the sketchiest company that you've never heard of. And this is in relation to porn. There is the only thing I'll say in relation to conspiracies in porn, which is semi-valid, is that they have noticed with the rise of porn, fertility drops, the less desire to reproduce, problems with relationships.
Shit, you don't want to go home. You don't wanna go to get groceries. You don't want to do shit. When you consumed by it, you don't even want to. Man, you don't even want to. Again, this is not me. I've never been a multiple times a day. I've never done that. And I've never been. It'll be multiple times in a week, but not like in a day. Like boom, 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 boom. But there's a lot of dudes. There's a lot of, and women too. There's a lot of people that will.
Oh yeah,
stay
I mean, this addiction is not exclusive to men. This also, this applies to women too.
Like I don't have time like that. I get bored. But
and also it's also getting proportional. The use of porn by women and
of
men
course,
in certain areas is proportional. Like it's about almost 50-50. It's getting for 50-50. So
it's not a good trend, man. It's for both genders, for all 64 genders. It's not a good trend. It's human interaction will always be top tier, top shelf. Now, getting to the human, yes, it's a bitch. Especially me. I'm paralyzed before I leave my door. I'm paralyzed before. As soon as I get up, I'm paralyzed. I can't even move. I just lay and I'm like, damn. I woke up again. But once I meet with whoever I'm meeting with, there's nothing that can compare. There's human interaction is the shit.
Japan's birth rate is dead in the water. It's so bad that the country will be.
Why you going so hard on Japan, man?
Emptying out in 20 years. The country will be in absolute economic collapse. So Shinzo Abe, the previous prime minister, pushed for open immigration, and that's why it's a lot easier now to go to Japan, live in Japan, to become a citizen of Japan. It's actually now possible. It was actually borderline impossible to become a citizen of Japan. Now it's much easier thanks to Shinzo Abe, and the current government is also pushing for that because they realized. Yeah, we need to be open borders now. More open borders than they were before. They still have restrictions, but you can get a house in Japan if you follow a lot of little things. The government will even give you housing.
You see,
there's a lot of things you need to do though. It's not like a free lunch. It's a complicated process. You have to basically pass the citizenship. There's a lot of things.
When I was younger,
and you have to be talented.
And I'm good. But when I was younger, I had like that, fantasy of like, going to Japan, moving there. Part of me still does, like, just to, see how that would go.
And Japan's on our face right now.
Yeah, you got the art right there. But I'm waiting for the posters too. Oh God, I don't want to spoiler alert. Oh, they're gonna be so. Ooh. But the thing is, now I already live. I've gotten, back in Queens. I've gotten used to living around Asian people in particular. All of them, not all of them, but most of them. Like mostly right now is Chinese and Koreans and all that. But I've lived around Japanese people, all that. And now it's more like, okay, in relation to me, like, because now I'm a fully grown black male, and I'm not all like, oh, hey, oh, God, anime, da. Now it's like, I'm looking, I'm like, I be walking home, you're like, yo, I live here. I'm not trying to rob you. And it's kind of, I'm not trying to.
How many? Okay.
It's annoying.
Can you talk about this? How do you feel talking about, like, how do you feel when people think that you're a threat?
It's great when I'm on the train because
it's like protection.
Well, not only that, I am legitimately on the train a total threat because I'm pissed off. So I'm pissed off, and I can run a 5K at 1 a.m. after work. So I am very much a potential threat.
Get your cardio in, no matter the time.
The endurance is not for play. But when it comes to like just being home, chilling and stuff like that, I got one one ally, for sure. It's an old. I just found out she's Korean. Old Korean lady. She's like 80-something years old. Always treats me with respect. Always just, hi, whatever. We talk. I told her, I told her, yeah, I also used to live in Florida too, so that's why I'm not just straight up, completely fucked in the head from a up north angle. I got some southern bullshit happening here too. But with the hospitality, I got the hospitality thing, so that's why it's like she can see it, and it's like it's very nice. It's like, okay, I like you. The other ones is just like, yo, okay, yeah, whatever, yeah, I'm gonna rob you, I'm gonna kill you, yeah, just get the fuck out the way, bitch. Like, just get the fuck out the way. Like, I just need to, I gotta put my groceries in, and then I gotta go take more punches. I gotta go right back out. So, with my neighborhood, it's like, it is what it is. So if I had to live around them in their country, and that's another thing I'm going to bring up with Africans who go to not black people from America, but Africans. When you go to like China or when you go to like these other areas and you get disrespected by Asians. First of all, I'm going to say this straight up. Like, I don't think it's right, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to hear no shock. I don't want to hear no, like, I didn't know this was going to happen. I don't want to hear no, like, I can't believe this was going to happen. You got, come on. Like, when they come to Africa, when they come to the motherland, when they come to any country in there, and you see some shit, I don't care how much money they got, whoop their fucking ass. If any type of bullshit, whoop their fucking ass. But when you go to China,
I mean, some people in certain internal parts of China has never seen anything but their own people. We're talking about white people. They've never even seen a white person.
Yeah, I've seen the videos where they're just like mesmerized. Like, I understand the metrics
about white people.
Yeah. Like, even white. Yeah, of course. So
and they have them as neighbors. I mean, they have Russia next door. I mean, Mongolia. Like, Russia is a very diverse country that. There is a lot of ethnic differences that people don't even
Russian
know.
People. I respect that culture.
It's a much bigger like
the good parts. The good parts. I respect the good parts. I respect the good parts. I like
their leadership is the problem.
Yeah, I didn't say yeah. The good parts. The good parts. But yeah, it's
if anybody wants to dive deep into the craziness of Russia, just look up how the government intentionally made it so people were enslaved through alcohol. I'm not joking.
This is why I.
That's what caused the Bolshevik Revolution.
This is why I get along with them so well. This is why I get along with them so, because you wouldn't even think I would be able to drink like that. But again, like, it's like the blood is like it. It's like my mode and stuff like that. It's and that's third on my list: caffeine, THC, and then alcohol. That's my list. But yeah, no, I respect Russian culture. I respect that their family, as far as the respect part. When they go overkill, again, we're from the island, so I mean, not I'm not from there, but my family's from there, so you already know about, like, when you get your ass whooped type shit. But with them, it's like, besides that's the rough part, I still like that they really take respect seriously, because you don't, again, enough with the extremes. Let's not go one way or the other. You don't have to be like super brutal, but at the same time, let's not walk around like raising entitled little bitches that just, I know it all and all that. And it's like, no, just slow the fuck down. Yeah. Well, if I gave you love, don't abuse it.
That's actually an argument a lot of people have been talking about in Puerto Rico, is that you have a lot of new people coming in, and sometimes some, particularly Americans that are coming in, they make some really stupid comments online about how they can exploit us, and it's disgusting. And it causes unnecessary animosity. And I know the majority of people coming to the island are not actually evil. So the problem is they're weaponizing this.
Oh, taking advantage.
They're
overboard.
They're slowly weaponizing it. When the reality is, so in Puerto Rico, there's currently a movement against foreigners in relationship to It's called Act 2022. It's Act 60,
Damn.
which is like tax breaks for the well-off. It's not super expensive to actually even qualify for this, but the stupid part is that locals cannot qualify for it. You have to leave the island for 10 years in order to qualify, which is ridiculous.
Oh, 10?
You have to be out of the island
Damn.
for 10 years. So the locals, even if they have the monetary capability, cannot qualify.
A decade?
And
You
that's the stupid part about the law.
That's a scam.
Well, as one person said, they want a Puerto Rico without Puerto Ricans.
Oh no, okay. What's the Bali?
Bali's having a gentrification crisis. Not a problem, a crisis.
I watched a compilation video of the natives, the locals complaining because people
they're
were
being
going
taken
there,
over.
Like
actually being taken over. Like they're running them out.
How many lovely ladies?
You didn't hear about that girl that was online and was kicked out of the government by the
government
of Bali?
That's what I was going to bring up.
The government of Bali kicked her out because she was being a dumb person and doing a lot of dumb stuff.
How many lovely people have to go on IG and go to these places, flaunt it, and then
act surprised. Oh my God, they were racist towards me. Like, they're not being racist. They hate you. They hate you as a foreigner.
You know,
your color was not part of it.
At least do your business, and then clean up. Get out, be respectful. Don't make this a trilogy. Don't make this a thing where you like the exploitation.
Well, this
takeover.
This is also happening
because they're bringing the revenue too. So
this is also happening.
That's why they gotta let
This is happening in Mexico too.
Oh, I would assume so. They're right down there. So they're super close.
This is also a current problem in places like Tulum.
Probably. Oh my! Oh, you just named.
I mean,
top 3.
I have a friend that lives there, and I'm sure she's relatively what you would call a positive contribution in general. There's people that are positive contributions to collectives.
Yeah,
right?
we're not talking about all of them.
No, of course not.
No, we're not
I'm not talking about anybody going to this.
No. There's a lot of respect.
But there's a few of them.
From few, but there's the few that
ruin it for everybody else.
And it always happens. Because now that's the power of the internet too. Everything gets exposed.
Well, it's neo-colonialism.
All the hidden nooks and crannies.
People think colonialism stopped. It never stopped.
No. Yeah. It's like Transformers.
How is it like Transformers? How is it?
Niggas in disguise. I mean, once they said they stopped, and the books say they stopped, it's really a transformation. They just transform.
Well,
it doesn't look the same anymore.
Mao Zedong.
It's not as brutal.
Mao Zedong had a strategy.
Out in the open, brutal.
I believe it was called like Population Bomb or something similar. So I know there's a book called Population Bomb, but I believe like Mao's idea was basically they were going to go and throw as many people as they could into the United States in order for the population to be big enough to affect them culturally, us. So this was a plan since Mao's era to culturally affect the United States. But guess what? Through systems like TikTok, they're doing a great job. TikTok, academia, yeah.
Hi, TikTok. Hi. We're gonna be on there. Hey,
science.
Check out our TikTok.
Science. So
Scape from New York.
So to give you an idea, what is it? They control academia now in certain facets.
Oh yeah.
They're pushing all these theories and all these things inside of academia. At the start of 2020, there was actually a lot of professors that got into a lot of trouble. And I'd like to see, like, I have not heard of what happened to all of them. This happened in Canada and this happened in the U.S. That a lot of professors were colluding actively with the Chinese government and sending data back, like data that's relatively considered classified.
Fuck, man, what the fuck? What do we do? What the fuck?
It's called the 1,000 Talents Program from China.
Oh, I heard about that.
So the 1,000 Talents Program was essentially
brilliant idea.
Super smart.
We don't have to support it to acknowledge.
We're gonna send the smartest people of our country into the United States and other countries, and we're gonna steal their technology. by infiltrating their corporations.
Didn't we have a problem with?
It's basically a giant spy system. And I'm saying basically too much. I need to take it out of my vocabulary. I've noticed it.
I mean, we could bleep. We could bleep.
I'm just saying the word too much.
I could bleep the bleep. But yeah. No, it's
word crutches.
You have a I don't have the answer to what's going on. I just have part of the remedy, part of the medicine. Because
what's the medicine to be constantly infiltrated by other countries in order to destabilize your home?
We have to.
I mean, the United States has done that to everybody else, so I'm not.
We have the two. What? Yeah. What? We are brutal.
We are terrible.
America is. But you see, when I say that again.
At the same time, it's your home.
This is a constant theme I'm going to bring up. This is what they don't want you to know. This is what they don't want you to this is how they don't want you to think. Less extremes. It doesn't have to be, again, because I live here, so I'm going to know a lot about
we benefit from our imperialism.
I'm going to know about America. A lot of Americans don't know about America, their own country, just like anywhere else too. There's a lot of the main citizens that don't know about
their own. I mean, it depends on the country you're in.
It's a natural phenomenon.
You know part of your own history.
You know part of it, but
ask a German. Like I remember that Family Guy joke where they're on the bus tour. It's like, what happened between these ages? They're like, we've forgotten that part of our history. Why am I doing?
Yeah.
But I love it. It's like they're like, between that, no, nothing happened. We went on vacation.
Yeah, right.
We went on vacation between 1937 and 1945.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah, whatever with that. We don't know. But
we don't know what happened that time period.
No, but part of the remedy is again to not. If you want to go and develop, and I'm speaking more for the youth. Because fuck old people. What
do you think they're putting all these old people in power?
And by old people, I mean, I also say this with love. When I mean like anybody over like 45. I say this with love.
45 is not old.
In relation to who I'm the main audience I'm about to talk to, in relation to that. 40, of course not. Yeah, of course. You making moves.
60's when you're getting more.
Yeah, but listen. 45 and up, it's like, look, whatever mode you're on, and then whatever like passion project you got, or whatever mental illness you have, it's like you have to leave the fucking kids out of it. Leave the kids out of it. Whatever shit you got going on, deal with it. I got love and compassion. If you're a fucking devil, I at least respect the planning stages.
But that's part of the plan indoctrination is part of the program.
That's
always
my
indoctrination.
Problem. That's my problem.
Kids are not taught to have critical thought.
The kids alone.
They're not taught to question authority. Oh, I also learned that a lot of autistic people question authority because we don't consider authority valid.
Yeah, y'all are streamlined. It's same thing. It's the same with the ADHD spectrum. Everyone's streamlined to glitch out.
But somebody was mentioning that in her job,
mainframe.
when she spoke to her superiors, she spoke to them like an equal, and everybody else in the job was like, "How are you doing that?" I'm like, what? They're just a person to me. I don't care about the hierarchy that you believe in, and that's the thing. Is like, don't believe in the hierarchy. It's completely made up. I hate politicians. They call them honorable blah 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 of the. I'm like, if I were ever in that chamber, I will never say honorable to any of them. If I were ever be speaking in Congress or Senate, I will never say honorable. Screw you. None of you are honorable. I will never. If I ever have to stand in front of Congress or Senate or whatever, I will never say honorable.
You know.
I will never give them an extra. I'll say person's name, and whatever gender pronoun they want to use. I'll respect whatever options they want to use. But but honorable
to a point. I respect it to a point. Like now I'm up to like 5, and I'm getting to a point where I'm like, all right.
Well, that's different.
It's
You're
too
talking
many-
about neopronouns. That's a whole different thing.
But you know what I used to do when I was a kid? I used to do. I used to just get up from my seat, and I would just walk out of the class, and I would just go to another class and pretend like I was in that class, because once I got the layout of who was in my class, I got bored. I got bored because I was just like, all right.
How the hell did you do that without them noticing?
They
What
noticed
confident-
sometimes.
Okay,
Wait, no.
like,
It was a split. It
How
was a split.
big are the class? Wait, how big were your classrooms?
We started at like 20, and then we started slowly getting to like 25. You know, like there was a lot of overpacking. This was in Florida.
Oh,
this was after I moved from Queens.
Mine were like always 20 something.
Yeah,
but I went to private, but still it was over 20.
We got to 30 at some point. But no, I would get bored, and after knowing and talking to everyone, I'd see who I liked, see who I didn't like, see who didn't like me, see who I had a crush on, see who wanted to fuck me up after class, and all that shit.
Were you ever bullied physically?
I get the fuck yes. What are you talking about? That's why I'm a fucking savage now. Like I mean,
I was more bullied verbally because nobody could physically bully me.
Actually, no, that's not even the reason. I'm just really. This is just. It's New York and the hyperactivity, but because I forgot I got memory loss, so I forgot like a lot of what happened in school.
That's called trauma.
No, it's not trauma.
No, I mean the memory loss is because your brain kind of determines that you don't need that information.
Yeah, but I figured out. I thought because it was trauma after school.
So is it an illness or is it a condition or neither one of those?
It's a brain type. I don't really think of it as an illness. Clearly, at this point in time, we understand it to be a brain that has a significant downside called poor working memory. And that poor working memory is compared to a low RAM computer. And that poor working memory comes from poor dopamine function or suboptimal dopamine function.
When I got to New York, it was still kind of the trauma, but so much time and so many things I did in New York happened. I realized, because when I went back home, I just didn't feel anything anymore. Like I was cool. Like I was really cool with everybody and everything, and my past emotions, I was good. The problem I was starting to approach now was I was chasing higher and higher level threats.
The thing that is that ADD folks do better than non-ADD people is things like jumping out of airplanes, competitive sports. Anything that has a threat element connected to it, an ADD person will literally get better in that situation, not worse. Because there's a part of the brain called the threat monitor center. The threat monitor area of the brain literally monitors all data coming in. All of the data coming in from all of our senses goes through one of those threat monitor circuits for the purpose of keeping us alive, so to speak. Threat monitoring is very important. The person who has the best threat monitoring system will survive.
Huh. So this is fascinating to me because I played basketball for years. I played in college, and at the end of a game, you knew which teammate that you wanted to get the ball to, because that teammate, that player, was likely to put the ball
in the zone.
Yeah.
They were in the zone, and that's almost how people who sort of figure this out will describe it, is when they're in that situation where the threat is high, the pressure's on, emergency situations, for instance, for sure, they're suddenly calm, focused, and they can get the job done better than somebody in my tribe, the non-ADD tribe, who end up being shaky, nervous, like the lawyer in Jurassic Park that got eaten by the dinosaur. He froze.
And we all love that too.
That's my tribe.
Like my imagination combined with the lack of dopamine was propelling me into, I'm doing a podcast with a Puerto Rican psycho right now. So I'm clearly making some type of sense right now. Like it's literally, look what we're talking about right now. So that's why I'm like, Yeah, in the beginning, yes, there was trauma. My mother was sick, so there was a lot of trauma. Yeah, in my early 20s, definitely. I was sorting through all that.
You have to just go through it. Eventually be discussing what was that situation.
I get into that. We'll do an after show. I'll do the after show. But I just want to finish my point. That constantly moving from class to class, constantly interacting with other people, and I was never disrespectful to my teachers in a malicious or angry way. It was more of a comedic, bored way. I was always bored. I liked seeing different classmates, that's what I liked about school, interacting with different people. And for the kids, we're being conditioned to just be subservient, and it's on purpose, stifling the creativity. Like it's on purpose, because that you're able to control the child better, and then you're able to control the adult better.
That's why there's certain school systems that are much better.
Yes.
The current American school system at its core is fundamentally broken, antiquated, and just hot garbage. That's just the facts.
It is trash.
It is absolute trash.
It's trash.
It needs complete and total reform on the teacher level, administrative level, and on the just curriculum level. I mean, what are we doing? We took shop class out of public schools. What?
Oh yeah, taking basic skills out of schools.
We took home ec and all that.
Basic skills out of schools.
We took out how to cook. You're not gonna know how to cook anymore.
We took out how to cook, and we never put in how to do taxes.
Oh yeah, we still haven't put how to do taxes.
Where is this going? Where the fuck is this going? And everyone's just kind of like,
just say it. Just say the phrase. What's the phrase?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's going somewhere new.
What's the phrase? Come on. What's the phrase from that W company?
It's going somewhere new. That's all I'm gonna just say that part. It's going somewhere new.
You will own nothing, and you will be happy.
So yeah, it's a shit show. And it's lazy to we can't even just blame like, because people being lazy. Oh, it's the teachers. Oh, that's why that with curriculums, again, what is the thought process behind? Because we've now figured it out. We got the internet. More people are more informed about the bullshit. So what are parents gonna do? What can we do?
Well, the first thing is we gotta sometimes listen to Kanye West. I mean, sometimes he's so right, and then people insult him. All right, the number one thing,
because he's mainlining through being right and being extreme.
The number one thing that was super controversial that he said that it was related to the 13th Amendment. Remember
what, the slave comment? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but people didn't understand the context of what he was saying because they didn't hear the fucking interview.
Well, not only that.
Nobody heard the whole interview. If you heard him saying the whole thing, it's like, oh, okay.
Not only that,
he said makes sense.
You got to be okay. I stress this because again, my main, one of my main skills is language, intent. Tonality, how you talk. I have to know, and motives. When you saying something like that, something that's very testy, anything that's very testy, anything that's tied to anything that's particularly brutal, and then you could use gender, you can use race, whatever. Your delivery, combined with the context, is extremely important. Who's saying it is extremely important because again, if that person is just saying the truth, but he's saying it like he's just bludgeoning people with the truth, it's going to because what he meant, as we can see now, is clearly, especially within the last 2 years, people definitely do sign up for their own slavery.
That's what he was speaking about.
So when he said
slavery of the mind,
when he said slavery was a choice, now of course when you talk about the event he was talking about, which trans Atlantic and all that, there's a lot of events that happen. There's a lot of people involved, and technically they're the enslaved. They're not even slaves. They're the enslaved. I learned that like a few years back. Like, oh, okay, this is what we should really be calling slaves, enslaved, because they're fucking people. But when he meant slavery was a choice, he's now talking about a concept that is beyond any form of like event, race. Because again, there was slaves for everybody. Everybody had slaves. We're just like with the
society has been collectively improving throughout time.
Just like with the Germany event, whatever's closest to our modern day is going to be, of course, put into the forefront of, like what's going on. Like I'm not even going to bring that up, but maybe in the after show. But anything that's closer to our modern time is going to be brought up more. But yes, throughout human history, slavery was like. Almost, like taking a shit. It was just like it was all over the place.
And
it was all over the place.
The weird thing is, in some ways, and I forgot who exactly was pointing this very interesting point out is, Christianity is part of the foundations of what stopped it in the Western world.
Christ. The pulpit.
Now I'm not talking about like the church I'm talking about.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
The individual, because if you check out the Bible, it generally goes against slavery. Most of the books go against slavery.
Overall, it's like
other religions not as much. I mean, yes, I believe I can't comment on. I'm not going to comment on Judaism, so that's not.
No,
but the point is that's one of the biggest religions, and those countries that abolished slavery before other countries were generally of that type of religion. Now, there's a massive debate on that subject, but it's an interesting part of the story of who really started to move against it. I will remind people that France had a slave debt against Haiti, as I mentioned in the first one. Fuck France for that bullshit.
Yeah, fuck France.
They should pay them back.
I want to go someday though when they're tired of slapping their citizens in the back of the head. Like I want to go when it's less sketchy.
I mean, Macron is one of those super youths for the.
Oh yeah.
What's the term?
This isn't the yeah. No, I'll say this. Yeah. I'll do this. With young what the fuck was it?
We should put a giant list of all the people that have been members of that. It's all public. So we should put a list or like
No, I agree. Yeah.
And start like rolling. Okay, we're gonna make a rolling like a rolling scroll up.
I'm pointing right now.
It's gonna be a scroll that's gonna go up from the latest, and it's just gonna be a list until we get to the beginning.
So it's gonna global leaders.
Young global leaders. By the world World Economic Forum.
When I first saw that list,
this list is gonna keep going. By the way, we're gonna get from the very first start because like all these leaders, Bill Gates also been part of it.
I saw the list in 2020, and that was part of my big awakening because again, Manhattan was empty. Netflix was still
chilling.
No, they were still charging more.
It's $20.
They still kept,
what is it, $20 now for the
it's like
premium?
22 or something. I don't know.
It's 20. I think it's 20 for the premium.
It's something crazy, but they were still raising their prices. 2020 was like, all right, clearly, even if you don't want to admit it, you feel different. Like this is clearly something is bigger going. This is different. So, yeah. There's a. Again,
list is hopefully still going because it's going to be a long list.
No, bro, shout out to Croatia and shout out to Belarus and shout out to who
else are you talking?
I'm talking about
the countries which leaders haven't been killed yet.
I hope it's not because of us. Y'all get.
So it's fascinating thing to research, and
no one's watching this shit.
Fascinating thing to research. Yeah, nobody at the end.
No, nobody's watching this shit.
So
we're gonna go viral.
Look up all of the leaders that said no to the vaccines. They're all dead.
Oh, we got a blacklist, literally and figuratively. Oh yeah, no,
they're all dead.
Spoiler alert. Yeah,
Mozambique.
The Haitian president,
Madagascar,
originally wasn't like
Haiti
down with it, and then all of a sudden,
well, which one?
The one who
Tanzania
is not here no more.
Tanzania.
Yeah, it's a
I'm sure I'm forgetting another country, but I believe all the leaders I just mentioned have died in recent
It's a small
times.
world after all. It's a small world.
The leader of Haiti was killed potentially by Colombian.
Yeah, I saw the story.
Yeah, the New York Times posting it. I'm like, so we're confessing we killed him.
We
hired the Colombians. Like,
you know what I fucked up? I forgot to. And then this is not fucking trauma. This is seriously, my memory is that fucked right now. I forgot, even though this would sound like trauma, my uncle was murdered in Haiti during a bank robbery. This was like in 2014.
What?
Yeah.
What? Oh.
He was a Haitian lawyer, and then he
was just there.
No, he was going to the bank.
He was just going to the bank.
But he had more money than the other people.
Did he physically have a lot of currency?
They knew he was coming. So the bank teller, all that, they set it up. And I don't think I've ever told you this. I've never told you this. But I just remembered it because again, I'm going through the Rolodex with my family. I'm going through the phone book.
That's horrible.
Yeah,
so he was essentially murdered for having money on him,
yes.
and they were part of a setup.
Yes.
That's horrific.
It was rough. I couldn't even because we. This was right before I moved to.
So that was kind of was this kind of a targeted murder?
Yes. Because
so
they just wanted the money.
Almost a hit job.
Yeah, they just wanted the money. They knew he had the money. He was a lawyer. Yeah, it's my mother's brother. I just.
Okay.
I mean, even look. I mean, even bringing it up now on camera, I was just like, yeah, I just did that. But it was like.
I mean, the people don't think about it, but you might be closer that you think to extreme violence, and you can't even fathom it.
Yeah.
A lot of people are connected to obscene amount of violence, and many times they don't want to talk about it. I mean,
shit, my brother used to sell drugs, so I was just like, that's why I was just like, go home. Goku versus Frieza. Go home. They're still on Namek. Go home. I was very clear on like, go home. And then the other stuff around me was, I mean, my neighborhood was fucking safe. Like I had it was nice, but it was just like, everything else was like, because that's just like you're from Puerto Rico. Like my family's from Haiti, so that's why I tell people like, no, I know about real shit. I just, I'm just an embarrassment as far as the I'm supposed to be bilingual, and it's just
bilingual with what language?
I be like with Creole and Patois. I'm supposed to know that shit. But when I was little, but like over time, it's like
they're not easy languages to start off with because
like,
they're a fusion of so Creole is French, Spanish, French, Spanish, English.
Huh?
French, Spanish, and English, right? Creole.
Oh, it's because
French, Spanish, but
it's mainly French and English.
Spanish. It's French and English, but there.
Not English. Not English. Sorry. It's mainly like a French. It's like a cousin of French.
So one of the best channels I've ever discovered.
Put a QR code
to Geography Now. He has the most amazing people, and when he's talking about a culture, now he has a guest speaker of that culture in Liberia.
Oh, that's fucking dope.
Liberia's
I want to do that
Creole is like you hear it and you're like, this is English, but it's not. But you can still understand it.
Right.
But it's kind of like it's weird to listen to it. I believe it's in Liberia. Their language is. It's something fascinating. You need to listen to a Liberian speaking, and you're gonna be like, "Whoa!" Like, yes and no.
God, man, France is like a deadbeat dad, man. It just with multiple like kids. Like France is like
it's its own thing. It's also one of the most powerful military entities on the planet.
Oh,
they have the most bases in the world, second to the U.S. You know that?
They got they didn't know second. They got money.
They're second to the U.S. in terms of military bases.
France is the future. Future being the rapper of countries. France.
How so?
It's just multiple countries. They all tied to France, and
the French Empire is alive.
it's just yeah, you know.
I mean, so is the American Empire.
Dirty Sprite too.
I mean, the U.S.
album.
is slowly taking the grasp out of you countries. But fascinating, horrific thing about the Philippines. When World War II happened, when the start of World War II happened, what they never taught you in school is what happened after Pearl Harbor. Did they teach you what happened after Pearl Harbor?
No, I don't. I mean, maybe I don't know. I left the class.
They attacked the Philippines. Now, the generals could have acted, but didn't. They stayed in the rooms. It's a horrible story of they could have protected these people. I believe 100,000 people.
Oh, wait.
100,000 people died.
Why they stay in the rooms?
They just didn't act. They could have.
What, the
moved.
niggas were scared?
This is the U.S. You can.
No, they're not even scared. No,
I'm gonna try to find this.
This
is a story. I'm gonna try to link it here.
Okay.
It's a story. It's like a lot of untold history of how the U.S. behaved in that time period was disgusting, absolutely fucking disgusting. And over 100,000 people in the Philippines died because of the inactions of the U.S. government. You weren't taught that, were you? Yeah. They don't teach you that at school.
Never heard that. I've never heard that shit.
I know. It's so fucked
fuck?
up.
I don't. God, what the fuck, man? Damn.
There's a lot of history
Tell me
people
no
don't know
shit.
about. I mean, most people don't know that basically China was running. I'm using that word. China was running the world until recently. In terms of global trade and power.
What until what? Like an hour ago?
No. Until last.
I mean,
2 hours ago.
Until like when the podcast started. What you mean? They stopped.
So, when the Opium Wars, it debilitated the country. Also, you have World War II when Japan invaded China. But again, there's a lot of details. But the history of China is something everybody should learn about because it shapes the world in ways that you can't understand
it's a big part of the world.
And there's so much history.
I mean,
I only know a fraction, and that's a fascinating element. So much technology was invented in China, and people don't understand that. The amount of advancements in human culture, technology, and everything you can think of happened in China.
That's the shit I like. That's the. I mean that.
Also in the time of the golden time period of Islam, Islamic scholars advanced the world in ways people don't understand. Calculus was invented by an Iranian, not by Isaac Newton. There's a lot of evidence to show that Isaac was using his information.
Well, I'm going to use, with my American ignorance, depending on how his name sounds, I'll either start saying his name or I'll go back to Isaac.
Oh, no.
If I can't pronounce it...
We can put here who invented calculus.
Yeah, we're going to put the link, but I'm going to read it.
You won't be able to pronounce it. It's really hard. It's Iranian.
Okay, thank you for
it's a very hard name.
Thank you for, not even sending me on a wild goose chase. Okay. Yeah, I'll look it up, and I'll be like, it was a guy before Isaac. Isaac is Isaac.
Motherfucking piece of shit!
He worked in the department. He worked for the government into finding fraud in relation to currency. So he identified when currency was being fake currencies. And
where the fuck is he now? Where the fuck this nigga? Yo, where the fuck this nigga?
They say
we need him.
They say he died a virgin because he was such a piece of shit.
Well,
as a person,
he
was a brilliant mind. But he was a horrible person.
Listen, if he helps, I won't say nothing.
Isaac Newton was kind of like this super genius that's also like the biggest piece of shit in the room.
Hey, if he can help us today, I won't. Hey, I'll turn a blind eye. I'll act like I'll act like the mayor that we got right now, I'll just be like, what? No, yeah, everything's everything's fine.
Let's make the children's food vegan. And you saw the pictures? Did you see the pictures that came out about the vegan menu? And it was chips, burritos. It was junk food, but vegan.
Listen,
that was their vegan approach.
I saw.
By the way, wait. This is an important fact.
Yeah, go ahead.
In New York, the state of New York spends per student in the public school system. Guess how much money per year?
Fuck no, I don't got that answer.
Take a wild guess.
2 million.
No. So what they pay per student?
Oh, per student. 100,000.
Well, that's a lot. No, 22,000.
Damn, I had 20 in my head too. I had 20 in my head. I'm not even lying.
Detroit is like 30,000, by the way. 30,000 in Detroit. 30,000.
Detroit,
29 to 30,000, I believe.
Detroit.
You can look up that. We can put here the data.
What the fuck Detroit beating us for?
Long story short, these states are super corrupt. They're stealing all the money.
Man, I respect niggas in Detroit too. I respect Detroit, but I was like, why the fuck?
First of all,
we got stuff.
Why are the salaries of the teachers not $100,000?
Oh, that's yeah. Well, you already know the thought.
I mean, I'll say this:
we know the plan.
You shouldn't start at $100,000.
Underpaying teachers is an American pastime.
But you prove your worth. Didn't get to 100,000. Cool. I mean. Most jobs should have just randomly started 100,000. Well, actually, with inflation today, maybe actually I'll move back that stupid statement. Maybe some teachers really should start almost at $100,000.
Yeah.
Unless they're
some.
No, not really. Yeah. I mean, there's some teachers that are working part time but
listen,
I have friends that have been teachers and they've had a horrible time with. They think it's a lot of money, but the amount of hours that they work.
It doesn't have to be 100. It doesn't have to be crazy, but it has to be
real
to
the retirement fund, full health care.
It has to be real to the job requirement. My teachers.
True, that's the main point. That's what I'm saying. Not every single teacher. Like there's teachers that are teaching this.
My teachers. I had to, I apologize. I had to put my teachers through hell, just because, I couldn't sit down, and then some senior year. Then I could definitely sit down because I was just sleeping in class. I was just sleeping. That was it. It was over. Like I didn't give a fuck anymore. But what they have to go through, my two teachers that really loved me and really actually like cared. One of them actually just let me sleep. That has an impact. And when you have that one person, it could be a teacher, a guidance counselor, it could be somebody in that system that wants to be there, wants to help, won't look at the kid like, and outcast him. Like
when I had migraines in class and I wore sunglasses, they were like, "Why are you wearing sunglasses?" I'm like, "I'm having a migraine. I'm just for a limited amount of time." And some teachers didn't care. And they're like, "Just let me," because I'm like, "Look at my eyes. I'm fine. I'm not high. I'm not like."
That has an impact.
And people don't get it. It's like certain people have a higher sensitivity to light than others, and especially if you're having some issues, they're wearing the sunglasses.
No offense, that's cool as fuck though. If you were in school and I saw you with the sunglasses, and then I wouldn't care. It
wasn't black sunglasses. It was just like slightly darker, so I could.
I mean, okay, but they still.
You could see my eyes.
They still look cool, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't like.
They weren't blackout sunglasses.
Okay.
But it was just so I could be in the classroom, and they were like, "Why are you doing this?" Like, I'm having a sensitivity to light.
No,
it's temporary. I'm not doing it all the time.
Teachers that want to be there not only most people who become teachers, they want to do it because they love teaching. Most people. A lot of people then, it's just like, I just need a job, whatever. But
that's the problem. The ones that
there's a lot of like
a job.
I just need a job, whatever.
And then those people, once they become useless, should be fired, and tenure should be removed if you become useless.
Listen,
tenure, what I believe, and I may be wrong, tenure was really established primarily for college level academia, so professors could say whatever the fuck they want. So they could say something that's very anti-authority, very anti-establishment, and that's positive.
Yeah,
tenure is for that. Is for the individual to say whatever,
but not for bad teachers.
The hell you want to say. There was this other teacher, I remember they were showing this TikTok about this piece of shit that was just talking about, I will fail you, only a percentage of, I will grade you. So the way he graded you was he threw papers around and whatever, like he just threw papers around, and based on how they landed or something, you would get A, B, C, or D.
You see,
that's disgusting.
In reality, that is horrible.
That is disturbing.
If this was like a show or something, this would be funny as hell.
Had nothing to do with your effort, and it was completely dependent
on.
It's
not. You're not in school no more. That's not a school. That's not a class anymore.
Exactly, and that professor should be fired.
That's mini Hunger Games. That's what it is.
No, the worst part is you don't know if you're going to fail or not.
May the rains ever be in your favor.
I've not personally, I don't believe I've personally ever experienced the type of professor that said that. I remember professors saying things like, almost no one gets an A.
Yeah,
and the thing is,
that's rough.
It's if you look at how some of these pseudo intellectuals, which I'll call them pseudo because that's not a way to teach, what they're doing is they're playing a power dynamic based on their skill set.
Yeah, ego.
And to me, they're idiots. They're not that smart. They are cultured and knowledgeable on a very specific, like very finite part of the spectrum of what makes you useful.
Yeah.
And everything else makes them pure shit as a human being.
Just because you study
professor
doesn't make you real.
Was divorced twice. I think the second divorce or something she took all his money. So that's why he was such a horrible person. This professor I was mentioning online that said that he graded people.
That's not funny. Why that bitch took the money? I mean, if he was like abusive, then okay.
I mean, based off his actions, he wasn't a good guy.
Then yeah, fuck him. You know, I believe in equality. Yeah. So if he was abusive,
but do you believe in equality of outcome?
No. Okay, because we're gonna blow up a tangent. What's our time?
We're off soon.
What time? How long?
About, based off the other time frame, we're at close to 2 hours soon.
Oh, okay. No. Wait. Okay. No. Then we gotta cut off. We gotta cut off. Because we gotta do just a little bit of the other thing with the light. We gotta do the light show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. But before you do that, let me say one more thing. Back to the UK, back to London, British, whatever. Black British women have the sexiest accents. They have and then it trickles on because in Africa you can see another deadbeat with the UK with the British going in there, and so you can hear it over there too. But black British women have the sexiest accents. I'm just like,
have you fallen in love?
Because I'm not gonna because I don't want to butcher it, but it's just I just wanted to put that out there.
Don't start.
I'm not gonna do that.
In the women's manner of speaking,
it's just
I can't imagine.
They're already black, so they're already sexy. They're already black, so they're already sexy. So then when you add like the because then it's not like over here. It's not like okay, I'm not I don't have eyes. I'm already like okay, good, yeah, black. I'm attracted, great. But when you add that accent, it's just like,
but
because I'm from here, so I'm not used to it. Now, like a dude from
to some people,
London,
some people like American accents when they're
that's
not
what I'm
from
saying.
there, right?
A dude from London might look at a chick from So
I'll give you an example. Actually, simple on that. American Southern accent is actually British accent slowed down. You can look this up. So like this very like the Southern American English is actually English slowed down. It's kind of the West description of it by a linguist. And then when you play around with it, you hear it, and you're like, whoa, that's weird. Because they're slower. That southern, yep, that's English.
See, I didn't
from
notice
England.
that because when I was in Florida, I was
Also, there's different versions of English from the United Kingdom, so that's a whole different thing. And then there's something like Cockney, which is its own thing, and it's hard to decipher.
See, I'm used to rednecks and seniors, so that's why it's like in Florida. So that's why it's like.
But look, I mean, and then
I never took the time to really.
But just look at New Orleans. New Orleans is like literally a mix-up of different things, and it's French. Also, some people in New Orleans.
I went there for Mardi Gras.
Some people in New Orleans know French because it's so prevalent in their culture.
Yeah, Creole's right there. Louisiana. Yeah.
But they know French. People are taught French in the schools, which is good. And weirdly, in American schools, being taught French. I mean, it's cool. If they want to learn it. It's a separate culture.
But Spanish is definitely like
learn Spanish.
That should be the
Aprende español, gente.
That should be gente. Yeah. That should be like the top tier. You learn.
Oh, fun thing that just happened in Spotify. English dominance is slowing down.
I saw that.
Spanish is taking over.
I saw that. And look, after because I know what is it, Karol G. You got Cardi B, of course.
Karol G is a name, yes.
I'm listening to music from different languages already.
Oh no,
but I'm listening to so much Spanish.
There's cool female rappers too.
Music, bro. I'm listening to so much Spanish music, and on my own time at work, whatever. And yes, I agree. Learning Spanish is a benefit.
This is
it's
the thing.
been a benefit for a long time.
When it comes to
people should learn that.
When it comes to some of our music, it's the same as American. It becomes cultural in what it's saying. In the terms, for example, songs from Puerto Rico, they do mention so many specific things about us that when people listen to it would have no context whatsoever what the hell they're talking about.
Right, you'd have to be like from there, yeah.
You have to be from there, and even if you're from there, sometimes the message will go over people in Puerto Rico's heads because it's very specific to a very specific area in the island. And then you're like, what is this about? And you have to literally ask, what is this part about? What is in this song? So that's the thing with any rap or any like the evolution of music is fascinating because it's a way for us to tell a story. The same way, but in South Korea, just weaponized it for cultural power.
I don't no fuck. I don't want to touch. We did a lot of Asia already, but yeah.
South
we're
Koreans.
done. We're done. We're done. And Ozuna is the nigga. Ozuna is the nigga.
Bye.
And Omani foreign minister has visited Syria today. Do you have anything on this?
I don't have anything specific on that. Michelle, where we fall in terms of the Assad regime and the atrocities that the regime has perpetrated against its own people. We continue to believe that now is not the time for normalization. Now continues to be the time for accountability for the atrocities of the regime.
And my last one on Lebanon. The United States, as reports said, plans to reroute $67 million of military assistance for Lebanon's armed forces to support members of the military, and you sent a notification to the Congress. Is it accurate, and do you have anything on this?
I can confirm that the administration has notified Congress of the intent to provide additional support for the Lebanese armed forces as they respond to a wide range of security, economic, and public health challenges currently facing the country. We want to ensure that the Lebanese armed forces is able to carry out its duties and functions, including the ability to defend Lebanon's territorial integrity, provide internal security, and preserve stability. Since 2006, U.S. investments of more than $2.5 billion in the Lebanese armed forces have enabled the Lebanese military to contribute to the degradation of ISIS in Lebanon, to carry out operations against al-Qaeda, and to expand control over Lebanese territory along its border with Syria. over the last 2 years, moreover, the Lebanese armed forces have also been at the forefront of responding to the various crises that are affecting the state of Lebanon and the Lebanese people, as demonstrated in its support of the emergency response to the Beirut port blast in August of 2020, and of course to its response to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic in Lebanon as well.
Can you be a little bit more specific? How much additional assistance is going to the Lebanese military? My understanding of it is that you're moving $67 million from the military to the military.
Yeah, it's not additional.
It's not additional. And in fact, it really means kind of nothing, because it's gonna, you're just, well,
I'm not in a position to provide additional details at this time. We're continuing to have consultations with the Hill on this, but as soon as we have more additional detail provided,
one more in that region. I know that you tweeted about this last night, but I just, in terms of this, the Houthi attempted missile attack on the UAE. One, do you have any reason to believe that it was specifically timed to the visit of the Israeli president? And secondly, what is it going to take for you guys to step up your pressure on the Houthis? And I'm not just talking about with a paper designation of an FTO designation, but what do they have to do before you realize that, or before you take action, significant action against them and and the people who they serve as proxies for?
Well, I would be interested in hearing your definition of significant action and how that compares to the actions that we've consistently taken in terms of designations, in terms of interdictions, in terms of working with the international community to shine a spotlight on the Houthis' conduct, to ensure accountability for their continued attacks, including their continued attacks against our partners in the region. That includes Saudi Arabia, but also the UAE. And you referenced the attack over the weekend. In terms of motivation, I can't point to a motivation specifically beyond the fact that, of course, this is not the first time that the UAE and Abu Dhabi has endured an attempted Houthi attack. This is a challenge that we are very focused on. We're very focused on it in terms of providing support that our partners, Saudi Arabia and the UAE, need to defend themselves against these types of terrorist attacks, but also pursuing those Houthi leaders with appropriate authorities and tools that will hold them accountable, will constrain their ability to engage in this type of reprehensible behavior, and that even as we do all that, seeking with the Saudis, with other regional partners, of course with the UN Special Envoy, to find a diplomatic solution to the conflict in Yemen. This is a conflict that the Houthis have been able to leverage to their advantage. And the sooner we can find a means by which to bring about a diplomatic solution here in Yemen, we will be better positioned across all of these challenges.
Why do you think the Houthis have managed to leverage it to their advantage?
Well, the vacuum that has existed, the power vacuum that in some ways has existed in Yemen since 2015 has...
Do you think that U.S. policy has played any role in what you're saying now, is that that this is a conflict that the Houthis have managed to leverage to their advantage?
What I can tell you is that U.S. policy now is focused on finding a diplomatic solution to this, not only to bring about greater levels of stability and security in Yemen, but also to put an end to or to alleviate the humanitarian emergency that is afflicting millions of Yemenis. 16 million Yemenis, I believe, are suffering from food insecurity at the moment. Part of that is due to long-standing factors, but part of that is due to what we are seeing on the ground in terms of these Houthi offenses. So for us, this is a question of international peace and security. It's a question of grave humanitarian concern, and it's a question that we're intently focused on diplomatically.
The Houthis on the list of terrorists?
We discussed it last week. We discussed it in this room, I should say, last week. The president has noted that it is a tool that is under review. I don't have any update to add to that. Very quick final question, Connor. Sure.
Over the weekend, North Korea launched its longest range ballistic missile since 2017. With each launch that we've seen this year, the 7th now, you guys have issued the same statement condemning it, calling them to talk, saying that you're, ironclad with your allies. Are you increasingly alarmed at all about this spate of missile launches now?
Well, we've made no secret about our concern, the concern that we have for what we've seen emanate from the DPRK. It's a concern we share with our allies in the Indo-Pacific, Japan and South Korea, in addition to our allies and partners around the globe. Of course, the DPRK's ballistic missile and nuclear weapons program, this is a challenge that is longstanding. It is a challenge that has vexed successive administrations. We have developed an approach that at its center seeks to find a diplomatic means by which to achieve the complete denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. It's a challenge and an approach that we continue to speak about with our allies, including especially our allies in the region, but even as we seek to find ways to address this challenge diplomatically, we're moving forward with different steps to hold the DPRK responsible and accountable. And this month alone, we imposed sanctions on 8 DPRK-linked individuals and entities. These are individuals and entities that supported the DPRK's weapons of mass destruction and ballistic missile-related programs. We are continuing to discuss this challenge in the UN as well.